The JPX Podcast.
So this past week, Gunther, who was the new world champion, was challenged by Bill Goldberg. He just returned. And I don't know how you feel about, well, a couple things. The first is wrestlers, and of course they're all big names, but they're gone for a while and then they just come back and they're immediately thrown into the title picture at, I guess, called misfortune or the non-benefit to the other younger guys that are still trying to make it there. And the other thing is, so Goldberg he's up there. He's been around for a while, but right now he is 58 years old. And everybody's different. Everybody knows their body. Everybody can decide when they want to stop. Me personally, obviously I don't wrestle, but I think that's one of those jobs that's so physically demanding that you shouldn't, even if you're coming in for 3 months, leaving, 6 months, coming back, one of the things you probably shouldn't do for the longevity of your health to keep coming back in your 50s and 60s. I think your 40s is pretty much your limit, which you should do, because like you've said many times, for people who come back and they've been out a while and they're older, they just don't look the same. They look sloppy. So what is your opinion on, one, guys who are not on a full schedule, like they're not on that 250 days in a row. They pretty much have this status like a Brock Lesnar, like a Goldberg, who can come back for a few months, make a huge paycheck, and then leave for like 8 months, and then come back a year later, whatever. And then also your opinion on, do you think that it matters that these guys are still, some of them are still wrestling in their 50s and 60s and even 70s with Ric Flair? But I think we're done with that now, hopefully.
Woo! For real though, I feel that these guys they bring back periodically are just an attraction. They're gone for a while, they're a whisper in the wind, and they return to attract, get ratings. Is it a good idea? I mean, if they're in good condition, Undertaker was doing it, but he had to pull back a lot because of his health condition and how old he is being, With Goldberg coming back, he's been botching a lot of his last matches. So, in my opinion, I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, you're coming in here wrestling, trying to perform, and then maybe hurting these wrestlers that are active. That's not good for their career. I don't know if it's the fact that they're not practicing enough or they're just older and, they're going to continue to be sloppy with that. So I don't think it's a good idea. Maybe to come back just to talk or be a commentator, but not physical in the ring. I don't think it's a great idea. But I do want to touch base on the Goldberg versus Gunther match. I do. And I want to give my opinion on why it's happening. So Jey Uso lost the title to Gunther a few weeks back. And this past week, Goldberg showed up and he challenged Gunther. But if you've been watching, Gunther did something to his family when they were in the crowd. So it stirred up some shit, They let it marinate. So they come up with this storyline, and I don't think Goldberg is going to win the title. I don't think it makes sense. I think it's a setup for Seth Rollins to turn in his money in the bank and capture the flag. Or title, should you say.
I definitely agree that Goldberg coming back to win the title makes zero sense. And I can say that, like you said, it's an attraction, but is he going to, dedicate himself and be there to defend the title? I don't think so. Not at 58 years old. And so that wouldn't make a lot of sense. You can say that about a lot of people. There are some people who are bigger names. They could come back. like a Brock Lesnar. But as far as where the storyline is going or where it should be going, yeah, I don't see that happening. Like the only way I could see it happening, this is touching on something you just said, if they were just like, all right, we're gonna have Goldberg take the strap, and then he loses to Seth Rollins anytime. It could be that night. It could be on Raw after the pay-per-view. It could be anywhere. Like, okay, I get that. But just in general, if that wasn't like on the horizon, you don't have someone waiting in the wings, yeah, I don't see it making much sense.
Right. That's why I say I feel it's a setup for Seth Rollins to win the title. Gunther is a great wrestler, and he's probably the modern day Brock Lesnar / Goldberg, because Brock Lesnar's and Goldberg same record type of thing. Goldberg was in WCW, big dog, nobody could beat him. Goldberg was in WWE, nobody could beat him, and now Gunther's that guy. I mean, he did get defeated, but it happens. It's just like Undertaker's streak. He lost that too, Before the majority of their careers, they weren't losing matches. So I think it looks better if Goldberg wears Gunther out for Seth Rollins to stomp Goldberg's head and stomp Gunther's head and win the title. That's just my opinion.
I just see the highlights, basically. A lot of stuff's been focused on Cena, just I guess because he's big, but I knew the Gunther BJ Uso. I actually saw the end of that match, and I'll be honest, I'm not very familiar with Gunther. I know he's a wrestler, but I don't follow him that much. Again, I'm more a casual fan. I'm not hardcore anymore.
Yeah, before we move on, I do want to state one thing though. The Saturday main event that they brought back is very great, dude. I like the vibe. I can feel the vibe is similar to the original. I like it because it's like maybe the third one they've done since last year. I think they brought it back last year.
Is that on
the
Netflix?
Third one. It's on Peacock. After Saturday night main event, the next night we have Evolution, which is an all-female pay-per-view. An all-female pay-per-view, where all the divas fight, if you want to call them divas, if you want to call them ladies, whatever, women. They all fight. And in the past couple of years, I kind of feel like the women perform better. They put on better matches than the men. I enjoy watching the women fight in WWE versus the men sometimes. I mean, I guess it's because we're used to men whooping ass, and now women are whooping ass good, Because back in the day, it used to be about puppies, wearing bikinis, having bra and panty matches, But now it's the focus of wrestling, and I like it a lot. So the other day, AJ Lee wrote a tweet out about how she's like the GOAT of the women wrestlers. And it brings me back to one of the topics that I've always thought about is I want AJ Lee to return. Everybody wants AJ Lee to return, but CM Punk keeps deflecting it and saying, well, she'll return if she can. I don't know if she's busy. Dude, it's your fucking wife. So I love CM Punk. I'm a big fan of him. I kind of feel AJ Lee will make a return at Evolution. It makes sense because she was a part of the era when they started that.
What is AJ Lee doing now that she retired? Like, is she not wrestling at all? Is she doing entertainment? What is she doing? Do you know?
I think she was writing a book.
Well, as far as the idea of a women's pay-per-view, I like it. I like that a lot. Like nowadays, it's a balance. I think it's always a balance, but back during certain eras, they still didn't look at the female athletes as equals. They looked at them more like TNA, eye candy, that sort of thing, as far as a different kind of entertainment value for the audience. But even back in the day, you had some fantastic women competitors, some women wrestlers. Lita is one of the all-time best. Then you got Trish Stratus and, of course, Chyna. And now they started it, but now it's just evolved. Well, actually, if you want to really go back in time, I guess Mae Young started it, Wendy Lee, but it's evolved a lot, and they are very good. I mean, I think most people, if they know wrestling and they look at it now, they probably wouldn't even say, yeah, this person's good for a woman. They're just going to say this person's good. They're entertaining. That's what they're supposed to be. So I like the idea behind it. But you know what I really like about this idea, John? About all these women carrying the torch now and getting the spotlight on them? I like the fact that they can do this and just get by on their own accolades and their own talent. They don't have to worry about this sexually assaulting owner, Vince McMahon, trying to like do favors for them. You know what I mean? Like it's all of them right now. It's all their talent, all their skill. They have all these spotlights on them, and they deserve it. And this is a great time to be a wrestling fan. So I like.
Hey,
it.
Vince McMahon, let me talk
really
to you
do.
for a minute. No, they don't want to see your fucking.
What do you want?
They don't want to see your fucking grapefruits.
My grapefruits are big as shit. I flopped out Shane and Stephanie with these grapefruits and Hornswoggle.
Are you gonna say your famous lines?
I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna buy AEW. I'm gonna buy that. What is that? Stunner Cutter. Yeah, I had to shut him up. I had to hit him with Stunner Cutter.
Hey,
he's just getting out of control.
Vince, let me tell you one thing. You're fired.